for either.
I don't really think we need to talk about lightsabers and dicks at this point. Because
okay.
We're live. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Ravens Roost podcast. My name is AZ9 Raven. I am the host of this podcast, and today I have a very special episode talking about friends in real life versus online. I've got my in real life buddy, APH. Say hi.
Hello.
Then I've got two very good friends that I've met recently alongside of APH. We have Catception _X3. Say hi.
Hello.
And I have Paragon Pink. Say hello.
Sup.
Trying to intrude on my dabbing brand, I see.
The dabbing brand that you fucking hate. Anyways, continue.
I absolutely, atrociously hate it. On this week's episode, obviously, we're going to be talking about IRL friends versus online friends. And it'll become a lot clearer what exactly that means later on as we go. But the gist of it is all of us clearly have friends in real life. We all have friends online. That's how
Wait, you guys have friends?
Do we?
Wow, that was fucking rough.
Really?
Great start. Great. Wonderful.
Anyways, Cass,
super excited.
Cass, how do you feel about that?
Offended.
Ever so mildly. It's gonna be a good one. And first off, we're gonna start off with some basic information. But before we do all of that, I have a little surprise for my guests.
Uh-oh.
Something
Wait,
I did.
I'm not a guest.
Something. Well, that includes you. Something
God.
that wasn't on the itinerary that I sent out.
Oof.
Oh boy.
Oh, don't worry. It's gonna be fine. I have a question for all of you. And that is, do you prefer your IRL friends or do you prefer your online friends?
Ooh, buddy. Buddy. Currently, because all of you are online, my online friends, but I would prefer that all of you are my IRL friends because it's much easier to interact with y'all when it's like that. That a cop-out answer? Or?
That was also going to be my answer too, actually. So I think it's fine.
I think I speak for everybody.
Yeah, I would say in general I prefer online friends, but I think that a lot of my real life friends are the type of people that are always busy or we're busy at different times.
Mm-hmm.
So I usually have a lot more similar schedule with my online friends, such as staying up till 6 a.m. every night. But that's how it be sometimes.
I feel called out. I feel called out.
I'm in the same boat. I don't really interact with even though I have real life friends, it's hard to spend time with them when you have a busy schedule. But if you have online friends, they're just always there.
Well, right. And like you and me, Cass, I feel like we interact more like online friends do than like IRL friends.
Absolutely.
Because we spend a lot more time together online together than we do like in person, even though we only live like 20, 30 minutes away from each other.
18, but who's counting?
You, clearly. So the reason why I asked that, and I wanted that to be a little bit of a surprise, is because I really do want to talk about how all of us met, both individually in our little two IRL groups, and then how we all met online. So I'm going to hand it over to our guests first, Kat and Paragon. How did y'all meet?
Cass, go ahead.
Paragon and I met each other about 10 years ago in 6th grade in middle school.
Oh, God.
And ever since then, there has been, throughout the 10 years, I've always considered her my friend. There have been times where we've grown a little bit apart, and then we'd grow back together, and then we'd grow a little bit apart. But overall, Caitlin is my oldest and best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean Paragon. And
That's me.
she means the world to me.
Yeah, from my perspective, so 6th grade, it was the year that I first moved to the town that I live in now. And Cassidy was my first like real friend that I made in this town. And so because I moved from town to town when I was younger, I don't have like those like best friends since kindergarten. So Cass is like my ride or die friend.
Okay. Okay.
Hell yeah.
I like it. I like that a lot.
Do you?
I do.
Okay.
Because
I'm just checking.
I feel like their story is a lot more detailed than ours. Jake, how did you and I first
Yes?
meet?
We met in a musical.
The duality of man.
Happiness, sadness. We met because I had done my first ever musical like 2 years prior, and I was like, you know what? I want to do something again, and like I want to perform. Like, fuck it, let's do this. So I auditioned for the thing. I get in, and I get there, and I'm already intimidated by everyone there because everyone's like, "Oh yeah, I've had this amount of experience with musicals. Oh, I've had this amount of experience with musicals. Oh, I've had this amount of. I've been playing music for this long." And I'm just like, "This is my first like real show that I'm not doing for school. So like, go easy on me." But it was a good time, and Trevor and I, our very first show had to do a really quick improv moment that like once it got through, I can't explain if you want me to, but
Yeah, go for it.
Essentially, towards the end of the show, we were given new jackets to wear, and Trevor Raven is much bigger than I am.
Still am.
So yes. I didn't say was, I said is. And we had our jackets off to the side. I had grabbed his accidentally, he had grabbed mine. So I'm just like real quick into my jacket, like, oh, this feels like a cape. This isn't how it normally feels. I feel like very like whoosh, very wishy-washy. And he's struggling to put on his jacket. Struggling. Our characters' names are like stitched in the inside of the jackets because we have to like hold it open and be like, ooh, there's our name. But I see him do that. The curtain's about to pull up in like 2 seconds, and all I can really do is lean over and go, we have the wrong jackets. It's too late. And then we get back and we just get set. Show goes on. We do the whole like open the jacket, and we, without communicating it, we both looked at the names, looked at each other, and went, all right. And continue the show. And it was that exact moment I was like, this guy and I connected. We're connected. Like this is true friendship. And then after that we hang out for a little while, and then California 2017.
Yeah.
Fires, Trevor's house burned down. He moved to Texas. We lost contact with each other. But just recently, he posted on Facebook. He's like, "Hey, I'm doing Twitch stuff. I just reached affiliate." And I was like, "Oh, cool. I want to check out the stream." And we reconnected, and it's been like pretty much every day talking to him again. It's been really nice.
It has been really nice. Do you want to hear that entire story from my perspective?
Sure. What? Oh, is he getting ready?
The Trevor perspective, everyone.
He's got to get his
Silence.
cigarette lit. He doesn't remember anything unless he takes a drag from a cigarette.
It was the summer of 2016.
You're ruining the bit. Shut up.
I don't know. I feel like I'm enhancing it. Go on.
It was a cold, cold day for auditions at 6th Street Playhouse.
We need some like smooth jazz in the background.
I was looking over my fellow auditionees for a little show called Forever Plan. And there was this kid. This skinny kid. And I thought, man, I'm curious to see what this guy's got. And then he was one of the best basses I've ever heard in musical theater, and everything changed.
Thanks, buddy.
I had the same thought process during that moment in Forever Plaid, that first show, where that no communication improv bit, I was like, all right, there's something between you and I. Something. I don't know what it is. But something. I like it.
Feelings?
Notice me, senpai. Ooh. And then
Oh, sorry.
yeah, everything is accurate. When the fires hit, I pushed pretty much everybody off to the side. I just kind of thank you. I'm glad because I was a dick. And I just focused on White Christmas, which was the show I was stage managing at the time. And one of the things that kind of perpetuated through that. Now, I could be wrong. My memory could be failing me. I don't fucking know. But if my memory serves me correctly, Jake was one of the few people who I think actually tried reaching out during that time. It was Jake and then Amy, who is someone completely different, and then maybe like 2 other people. Past that, it was like I posted a thing on Facebook and people liked it and moved on. I was like, all right, cool. Shortly after, when I burned bridges with a lot of people in Sonoma County and moved out of California, I would venture to guess that all but 1 or 2 of those people that liked that comment unfriended me on Facebook, which is fine. I don't care about them. But Jake has always persisted. Always, 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 in some capacity or another. And
Feels like I'm on the prowl or something.
I will say, when we first reconnected on Twitch, I thought for a hot second that, all right, we might chat like once and then that's it. Like that'll be it. It'll be like a 20-minute conversation and then that's it. Turned into like an 7-hour conversation, maybe longer.
Oh god, yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, it was a late one. And yeah, the rest is history at this point. Great history.
Great history. Oh yeah, our director told us after the show that bit was funny. Never do it again.
Yep.
I love you, Pat. Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to give my perspective from this because I'm very much like an outlier in the situation for the most part. But Paragon and APH, would you like to walk us through how all 4 of us got together and connected? Because you 2 were the catalyst of this entire little group of people.
That we
They
were.
were. Absolutely, they were.
Cass and I just kind of came along for the ride. Like we're just attached. Oh, Cass, you're out of focus. Oh, no, you're
Okay.
in focus.
Back and forth. There it is.
The floating head.
I will say one thing before I let Caitlin take over a little bit. I was streaming Hollow Knight on Twitch. Take it away, Caitlin.
So Jake was streaming Hollow Knight on Twitch.
Uh-huh.
And it was
Amazing.
like 1 or 2 days before I was planning on doing my first stream, which is also Hollow Knight.
Mhm.
But I wasn't that engaged in Twitch before I decided to start streaming, so I was like doing a little research, like scoping out like other smaller channels to kind of like get a feel for like the flow of it.
Mhm.
And then I stumbled into Jake's channel. Some things happened, messages were sent. I asked for his blood type, and then we were friends.
I forgot about that.
Okay.
Are you just gonna
I can explain a little more.
Okay, yeah. Please.
Well, I'm a very chatty viewer on Twitch. I don't feel like I'm a very chatty person in real life, but I'm very chatty as a viewer.
Mm.
And we were just like going off for like a couple hours at least of just like question and answer back and forth. And me and Jake had a lot of stuff in common. And I don't actually remember how we ended up at like I was asking you for your blood type, but it was a joke. It was not serious.
I remember how.
Okay.
You said you were from Michigan. I was like, my mom's from Michigan. What school are you going to? Maybe my grandpa taught at that school. And then you escalated it from there into blood type. And
As one does.
And I was like, I really shouldn't answer this, but I'm gonna ask my mom and dad, see if they know. Because I sure fucking don't.
I think my favorite part of that entire story, not gonna lie, is how it seems like the actual memory of what led to the actual question of blood type seems to be missing from everyone's minds. Because I don't fucking remember. I was there. I don't remember.
There.
Was I?
Oh, you
yes,
were
I was.
there?
Yeah, I was.
You were
Oh.
there?
I was in that stream. Oh, I was lurking, but I was there.
Let's see.
Wasn't paying much
I
attention,
wasn't
though.
there, and I don't remember.
You sure weren't.
But yeah, and then so I do remember, okay, because I was like, okay, like
Oh.
this APH guy is really cool, and I remember like I brought up like 5 or 6 times. I was like, you guys, like you gotta meet Cass, like you're gonna love her. Like I'm gonna be streaming with her and stuff, and so that helped introduce the 4 of us as a group.
Yeah. I should add to this. I thought that was going to be the end of our interaction. It's just like, all right, we talked. Cool. Like, maybe I'll talk to them later. I'm gonna check out their stream when they do stream. But like, otherwise, like, I don't know. Was it that same fucking night? I'm suddenly getting a call from you and Raven.
I don't remember.
Like,
I don't remember how I ended up.
Or
in
was
a
it the
bonus
next night?
time.
It might have been the next night. I don't remember.
I feel
I feel like it was the next day because that was like late at night when I was on your stream.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, because I was just like, okay, yeah, that like they're cool. I don't, because like it's like a personal thing of just like, I have a hard time. I meet someone, especially online, to continue talking to that person. But I think Trevor, he's been online for the past 2-3 years almost constantly. Like he's much better about this. So it's just like suddenly getting a call from you two. I'm like, wait, hold on. I'm not emotionally ready for this. But now I've started to get a lot more used to it. And then that means I meet people like 18. I meet Callum. I meet they're in chat right now. Those are the first names that popped up. But I also meet Onyx. I meet Stab. Like, it's so many people that are very cool. And honestly, it's because you, Caitlin, and Raven were like, yeah, let's call. Let's get talking. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I actually don't
Stab in
remember
there.
how I ended up in a Discord call with Raven. Do you remember that, Raven?
Fuck no, I don't. I think, okay. If my poor Diet Coke memory serves me well, I feel
Diet Coke, huh?
I feel like we chatted in Jake's stream for a little bit, or if it wasn't Jake's stream, it was yours the next night. I feel like
I think it was Caitlin's.
it might have been, and I think that's where I don't remember what prompted it. I don't know why it came up. I don't know how it came up.
That's fair.
But I think the conversation basically was, all right, well, you're a smaller streamer. APH is a small streamer. I'm a fairly small streamer. Like, it might be cool if we all just like link up and like chat and hang out and, I don't know, create something. I don't know. Maybe those weren't my exact words. Maybe I'm exaggerating. I don't know.
Goon Squad.
But Goon Squad.
Goon Squad.
That's what we turned into. But yeah, and I very quickly, I think I actually I was missing for a day or so, I think, after all of that, because y'all were talking without me for at least a day, and I don't know how.
Me and APH,
Yes.
or me, APH, and Cass.
It could be both. I don't know.
No,
I don't think
I think it might have been you and APH.
Okay.
Cass definitely joined that call the same night, though.
But that was later. This was.
It was later. That's true. That is fair.
I wasn't there for the blunt of it.
The blunt.
All right.
And suddenly there was weed.
Oh god.
Suddenly there was
I'm gonna need
weed.
more wine.
But yeah, no, I think I don't know. Whatever happened, I'm glad it did, because we've all known each other for, I think, a month now,
A little over a month.
as one entire
A month
group.
and a week-ish.
A month and a week-ish. And I already value Cass and Paragon as very good friends of mine, who I wish were IRL friends. Which leads me into kind of my next bit, however, or not bit, point. Bit's a completely different thing.
We're making this up, folks.
We're making this up as we go. We have talked. full disclosure to everybody listening and watching, the four of us have had this exact conversation before. Because we talk a lot. Like, a lot.
Like more than we should a lot.
Yeah, probably. Like, we don't get work done a lot. Not
Correction. Correction. Me and Cass don't get work done a lot.
You know what?
We are
that's actually really fair.
Way too easily.
Accurate, yes, 100%.
But I think it'd be nice. I think it'd be cool if we all kind of go back and, even though we've already talked about this, we revisit this whole conversation of what were our first impressions of each other as a whole, or
the night that never happened.
The night that never happened. It's no. All right. Well,
that never happened. October 31st, 2020.
I like how we
Never
say it,
happened.
the night that never happened. We keep referring to the said night that never happened as the night that never happened.
Yeah, it's like he who must not be named, you know? It's just how it goes.
You still talk about Voldemort, you just don't call him Voldemort.
There's so much semantics in there I could argue, but I'm not going to. This isn't the time or place. So I would like to start with APH on this one. Your first, we'll go in order, so it'll be APH, then Cat, then Paragon, and then I'll go last. APH, take it away.
Should I go in that order as well?
If you want, I don't care.
Because I'd rather start with you, Raven.
That's totally fine. I'm not a dictator. Well, I am, but I'm a dick.
You can do it in order of appearance.
He's
Like
a
who you know
potato.
first, and who you
In
know
order of
last.
appearance. Special guest star. Go ahead.
Trevor. I briefly touched on it, talking about our me walking in to do the first script read through for Forever Plaid.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, I'm burpy right now. Hold on.
That's an exercise move.
It is an exercise move. You're right. I'm not going to do it right now. And I remember walking in, and you were in there with a fucking huge can of Monster, hat backwards, sitting down, like joking with everyone, and I was immediately intimidated. Just like immediately.
I'll never get that. Continue.
Because it was just like, oh, this guy knows what's up. He's confident. He knows what he wants to do or who he wants to be with the show. I'm still trying to figure out the name of my character. But it was just like from there. I think someone mentioned Fallout, and I was just like, I think it was you, and I was just like, okay, I feel a little easier. We both like Fallout. This is fine. Caitlin, at some point I did think you were a bot. But a really intelligent bot. I was asking for my blood type and just like
The highest compliment one can receive.
Just like this is some advanced AI. Like, whew.
Does this unit have a soul?
Like, what's next? My social security number, my bank account information? Like, a little weird. But to be fair, I didn't even know my blood type, so I don't know how I could have used that for any of my security. Anyways, fucking. But it was just something about it, like that was in the back of my head. But something about the interaction was just like, this is just someone that, like, I have a lot of similarities with. And again, didn't think it was going to go much beyond that, but I'm glad I'm glad I was wrong about that. And then Kat, me and Kat are the same person. Like, yeah. Just like Caitlin and I have similarities. Cass and I are the same person.
Yeah.
It's like and I'm a little older than her, so some of these things that she's working on, I've already had to work on myself. So it's kind of like hey, you're going through this. I can maybe talk to you about how I went through it, how I got over that sort of stuff. But also just like it's like she and I can talk to each other way too easily. there's almost no bouts of silence. Like normally, like in a conversation with someone, and like the conversation stops because you can't really think of what else to say. That doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. If you were to listen in on one of our conversations, you'd probably just be annoyed because we just go.
You get 4 stories in, and then you realize you never finished the first one.
What was and then our memories are shit. Fucking
Yeah.
I think it was, I don't know who said it, but I wrote it down on my phone because I thought it was hilarious. It was combine our brains and we forget faster.
Yeah.
I think that was Paragon.
Was it?
No, it was in a
it was in a one-on-one conversation.
Oh, never mind then.
I was gonna say, I didn't
Yeah.
think that was me.
Yeah, Raven, how's your memory going?
Not fucking very well, apparently.
Oh, Callum subscribed again.
Ah, yes.
Aw.
CJ, thank you for subbing with Twitch Prime. You are now forever immortalized in this video. Something else just happened, and I don't know what it was. Okay. Interesting. Anyways, thank you, Callum. Appreciate it. I'm just hearing notifications popping off, and I don't know why.
It's
Strange.
you're going crazy, Raven.
No, I'm not.
It's finally happened.
It just happened again. It just went off like 4 times in a row. What the actual hell?
Is
Maybe
it
it's
Discord
broken.
notifications?
I don't know.
They won't stop coming, and they won't stop coming, and they won't stop coming.
Okay. Hopefully, this will put a stop to it. Never mind. Not stopping.
Did it make it worse?
I don't know what's happening.
It's louder.
I don't know what's happening.
Again, is it Discord or is it the stream?
It's the stream. I don't know what's happening. So
You
Callum.
need to like mute your stream alerts or something. Callum broke us.
I just did.
Yeah.
Oh
I just
no.
heard it.
Oh no.
I just heard it.
It won't stop. It won't stop. Oh god.
Do we
Okay.
need to take a break for technical difficulties?
Can I pause? Maybe if I just
Can you?
reload. Oh
Can
no.
you?
This is so bad.
May you?
Oh
pause.
god. I literally can't stop it. Okay, let's try.
Have the stream muted, like the tabs, so I can't hear what we're talking about.
Wait, hold on.
Oh. 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 Oh.
Okay, cool. I think we're good. What the actual fuck? What
Callum
the
broke
fuck
us.
just
This is what
happened?
happens. This is what happens.
Callum subscribed too hard.
You know what?
Callum-
I'd believe that. I would believe that in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally believe it. Callum put too much love in the subscription.
Oh boy. Okay. Where the hell were we? I lost all sense
First
of thought.
impressions.
I just
right.
finished all my first impressions.
Okay. Cat, go.
It's me.
Yes.
It's you.
It's you.
So, I'll go in the same order, except I'll end on Jake, just because I like starting with Trevor.
Go in the same order and then give your first impression of yourself.
So my first impression of Trevor was Caitlin was like, you gotta meet these people, like you gotta join this call, and I was like, God, internet strangers. And so I was scared, and I was this goes for Jake and Trevor. I was afraid of both of them. I was like, oh God, grown adults on the internet, terrifying. But by the time I got through, but as I got to know them, so I was scared of, my very first impression was that I was scared of both of them. But as I got to know them, I really like spending time with both of them, and they are very, very good friends now. Trevor, I thought truthfully, I was just scared. I thought you were cool, but I was scared. Like stranger danger.
Okay. I I thought that wound would have healed by now. It hasn't. All right,
I'm
cool.
sorry.
Oh no.
Do you want me to be honest or do you want me to lie?
Honesty is
F's
always
in the
best
chat
policy.
for Raven.
Honesty is always best policy. Yeah, hell yeah.
Callum said the same thing too. Don't worry, I was too when I first spoke to him. Thanks, buddy. I'll always remember that too.
But Trevor, you and I now we're like we make a fantastic team.
I think so.
Like we make a group. Like I mean, we all have our own pairs within this group, but I think that you and I make a really really good team.
Mm-hmm.
And then Caitlin, my first impression of Caitlin was just that I've always loved Caitlin. I gotta think back. My first impression of Caitlin would be that she was so incredibly talented, and I was jealous that she had so many friends, and I would get jealous that she was spending time with other friends more than me. I was like, Caitlin was my girlfriend, but she wasn't my girlfriend.
Yeah, my time was divided between the nerds and the goths.
I think that's hilarious. You and your
With
one
our
brain
powers
face.
combined.
Sorry, you and your one song. But that was my first impression of Caitlin. Just that she was really cool, and we've been friends ever since. Throwback to the 3 C's. Anyway, and then there's Jake, and I met Jake, and I just instantly was like, holy shit, they get it. Just because it's exactly what Jake said. Like, we just are the same person. Both, like, even now we'll have conversations where we'll all tell stories, and I'll be like, oh god, I did that too. Just because it's really like, it's just like another me, and so it's just super, Jake's just really easy to talk to, and it's like, oh my god, someone gets what it's like to not understand your sentence halfway through it.
It's uncanny. Unfortunately, uncanny.
It is fearful.
Oh god.
My turn?
It is your
Caitlin.
turn.
Okay. Well, I'll preface this. I just want to say this about everyone, is that I feel like maybe it's because, like, I was kind of the person that, like, found Jake and, like brought in Cass and whatever, but I feel like I have stuff in common with all 3 of you, but it's all, like, very different things that I have in common with you.
Mm-hmm.
But, so I feel like a lot of times with group stuff, I feel like I'm sort of, like, in the middle of the group, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I would agree.
Because, like, all right, so like first impression wise, let's think. I'll start with Cass.
Oh god.
Because, oh gosh, poor 12-year-old Caitlin, or 11-year-old, however old I was, and I was so, like, I was a dweeb in middle school, like, I was pathetic, and Cassidy wasn't much better, but in my eyes, she was, like, the epitome of cool. Like, I met Cassidy, and I was like, I want to be her. And that hasn't really gone away. I'm still, you know, in the most loving way possible, I am very envious of Cass. I think you're very cool and talented and hardworking.
Thank you, Caitlin.
For Jake the snake.
Oh no. Snake Jake. Get it right.
I mean, again, it was one of those deals where, like I feel like you and me were on, like, a same wavelength, kind of, even though I was, like, weird still. But, like, we just, like, kept talking about stuff. There's just, like, tons of, like, similar interests, like, oh, you play Hollow Knight and Mass Effect, and you do like, it was, like, different things kept coming up. And so I thought that was really cool. And I also think that you're, like, super talented, and I wish that I was as good of a musician as you are.
You can be easily. Your compositions are great.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Easily.
Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
I have the tears on a t-shirt somewhere to prove it.
God, Ravi, you still haven't done your laundry? I shouldn't even be surprised.
Dude, one of the reasons we were late is because I got a whiff of my armpits and I almost fell over. Like, it was bad. I just hadn't showered yet today, and I was like, oh, I gotta take a shower before we do this. Not gonna lie, like, that was the quickest shower of my goddamn life. And it was panicked.
Oh.
Anyway, my
Yes.
first impression of Trevor.
Hi.
He stunk
Beautiful
real
segue.
bad.
Yeah, he was smelly, even from far away. No.
Smell him
across the
country.
I can smell him 800 miles away. Don't know what it was at first.
But no, so I feel bad about this, but I had a very judgmental first impression of Trevor because he reminded me a lot of someone that I know from school who I did not like at all. And I falsely assumed that Raven was going to be like that person. So I was like projecting that person's personality onto Raven before I gave him a chance. And I'm very happy I was wrong about that. And like I think that we should clarify when we say like as we got to know each other, this was over the course of like 2.5 days because we talked a
Yes.
lot.
Yeah.
We still do.
Yes.
So it was over several hours, but it was like over 2 Discord calls. I was like, oh yeah, I like Trevor. And me and Trevor, like it's again like we're on the same wavelength about certain types of things, but it's in like a very different way than I'm on the same wavelength as Jake or Cass.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Oh.
I really like Trevor.
Yo. And just to clarify, I think those few days was also like 18 hours of call time. It was a lot. It was
Jesus.
a lot. And honestly, our call time has not really gone down.
No, if anything, it's gotten longer.
Yeah, if anything,
worse.
it's gotten longer. It's like a schedule thing now. It just happens. Like we're also like, oh, it's like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, time to call. It's pretty consistent. I love
It's
it.
usually when everyone's done streaming is when we
Yeah.
usually we'll have a group call.
It'll
Which
start with
we
a
usually all
watch
stream
party.
until like midnight or 1 a.m. Yeah, watch
Yeah, the
parties.
what where we make clips of the other person streaming. They're like, "Come on, we gotta watch it," and then it's just us watching us embarrassing ourselves on like live on Twitch. Like that's just what it is. I
Yep.
mean, in my case, it absolutely is. Oh God.
Lots of priorities.
Oh yeah, priorities. We got
You
those.
shush.
We got those nailed down real quick, didn't we?
Hush. Hush.
But I suppose it's my turn now, isn't it?
It sure fucking is, buddy.
So here's the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is my memory really isn't all that great, to the point where the more I recall something, usually the worse it gets. However, this is I'm not copping out of this. Don't worry. However, I don't know at what point certain events took place. I'm too old. Old age hit me fucking hard. It didn't
Old
hit,
age?
It hit me in the gut and it hit me in the brain. It hit me nowhere else.
20 years ago when I was 10.
Dude, I remember nothing before like 2011, I think. Like everything before that point
Oh.
is like a haze.
Good thing you met me after 2011.
Right? Like I barely remember people who I like dated back in like 2009, 2008. Like I can pull out names, but like past that, no. But I will start. I like how chat just kind of blew up on my age. Thanks, y'all. Yeah, I consider it to be old age because I feel old. I'll start with Jake because that's the most prominent one I think in my head. When I first met Jake at auditions for Forever Plaid, I
it
genuinely
was script read through. Like the auditions were done. I
Was
auditioned
it?
late.
Oh,
It was script read through. Yeah.
fucking Christ. Wait,
Well,
how the hell did I
here-
get cast in that show then?
fuck if I know, dude.
Did I audition for Forever Plaid or did I just get offered a role? I don't know.
Who fucking knows?
I don't remember. This is what I'm talking about. I don't fucking know.
I did auditions by myself.
I do vividly remember the first time being in that room with you is that I was very curious to see what you could do. And my impression of you was either going to be he's solid, or I'm going to coach him, or I can't wait to watch him drown. Those were the three thoughts that I can clearly remember in my head, with me going,
Rude.
I hope it's the former and not the latter or the mid, because otherwise this is going to be a bad 3 months. And then I was very pleasantly surprised. Like I said earlier, one of the best basses I've ever heard. Consistent, constant,
Stop it.
good tone.
Stop it.
Don't tell me to stop it.
I'm okay at what I do. I'm not one of the best.
Dude, the only reason why I still know how 16 tons goes is because I always hear you singing it and it just stays in my head forever in a good way. Like, fuck off, get over it. Anyways.
Another day older and deeper in debt.
See? Fuck you. Love you.
I love you, buddy.
I will move on to Cass. Cass, I do still think that I thought you were super nerdy at first, and I felt like that was going to go pretty badly, but I was very pleasantly surprised when I wasn't talked down to every second.
Do you not think she's nerdy now?
I think she's nerdy,
do I need to bring out my lightsaber?
No. Nerdy in the sense of like.
Wait a second.
Nerdy in the sense of like very, very actually like intelligent to the point of condescending. Like that kind of nerd. Like the actually it's blank. Like that kind of nerd. And
like
that,
condescending.
Yeah, exactly. Like very, very condescending. Like, and that never happened. And I was very happy. You're very bubbly, and you were very bubbly at the time, which caught me off guard too. But I now embrace it.
Thank you.
It's a very positive.
You're surrounded by you're surrounded by positive people, Raven. It offsets your negativity.
Shut the fuck up. I will be negative, and you can't stop me.
It will drown your negative.
That's why it
bubbles.
takes 3 positive people to cancel out Raven.
I'm just one neutron away from being neutral. That's all it is at this point. And Paragon, I'm gonna be completely upfront and honest for a second here.
Okay.
I thought Paragon was gonna be somewhat different when we first talked, and when I say that, I mean in the sense of I thought you were gonna be a lot more talkative, but it felt like you were a little reserved, and that that shifted very quickly. Because I think there was a joke made that caught me off guard very early on in the days of our talking, and
What joke?
I don't remember.
What did I say?
I'm assuming it was a sex joke, knowing Kate.
I think it was, because I was literally like doubled over in my chair crying of laughter. Like it was great.
I don't know the joke, but I can easily like see the situation unfolding, because we're probably just having like a normal conversation about something,
Mhm.
and then Caitlin's voice pierces through, and it's just the most inappropriate joke for the time.
Yeah.
It makes
Exactly.
no sense that it was said at that point, but it's fucking hilarious.
Yep.
Mostly because it came from Caitlin.
Yep. I have flashbacks to everything that she says on her Naked and Afraid link stream.
Right?
Which you guys should check out if you're not following me.
Oh god, are we promoting? Are we promoting?
We can do shameless plugs at the end of the podcast. Hey! But yeah, no. I have been very pleasantly surprised with all of the people who I've met online, with exceptions of like kids, because I don't like kids. But by and large, I don't like kids because they tend to attack me and annoy me on purpose. So with that being said, I'm curious. What do you think is the actual value of a first impression? The actual importance of it? Does it matter? Does it not matter? Is it something that we put too much stock in as people and as individuals? Like, is it worth worrying over?
I guess I'll say something. I think it's tough because I think a lot of us want to say that first impressions don't affect us that much, but I think that's a big fat fucking lie. Even if we're trying not to have first impressions like affect us, I think they still do, because that's what we're trying to create patterns in our head constantly. And if that's the first thing that you see out of someone, that's kind of what you start to expect from them.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's a negative interaction, then it's going to be a lot tougher to get over that. If they continue, just giving negative interactions, then you have a better understanding. But if it's like that negative interaction and then a bunch of positive ones after that, there's kind of like this imbalance in your head about who this person is. But I think at least what I try to do as often as I can is instead of saying first impression singular, I try to say first impressions. And I try to take in like the first 10, 15 times that I see this person. What do I know about them? Because I fucking know I've met people and I've said something stupid in front of them, and I never see that person again. And I'm haunted by it for the next 10 years. Because I'm just like, God, fuck, why did I say it? Oh, God. I should just redo. I want to redo that. No, but I'm never going to see them. Like, you start overthinking things, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think ultimately we all just put a lot into first impressions, but it's unfair overall. Trying to expand yourself into many first impressions rather than just the first time you meet them. That sort of thing is what I strive to do. Yeah.
I going off of what Jake said, your brain makes but in the first 7 seconds that you meet someone, your brain has already decided how you feel about that person. And that's kind of why we all sort of remember our I remember I was scared of both of you. And I was very nervous to be in that call, and I was very shy. But I also think that and that's just your brain trying to hardwire a solution to a complex problem, because socializing is a complex problem that your brain wants to simplify. But I think that they're also very deceiving, and I think it's a very flawed version of evolution, because I'm sure you can all attest to this. I am not the same. I don't act the same as I did in that first call.
Mm-hmm.
I was very quiet. I was very uncomfortable. I was very shy.
You were quiet for like 15 minutes, and then
exactly. And then I get comfortable, and then you're fucked, and then I don't shut up.
And then she stays comfortable with you for 10 more years.
Accurate. Oof. 12, I get a little bit of a rough patch, but 13, we're back at it. But that's just, I think that first impressions are your brain's way of kind of trying to, because we're a very social species as a whole. And so it's your brain's kind of quick way of deciding like if you should or shouldn't pursue somebody. And I think it's sort of like a primitive way of thinking, because the way that interactions are so complex that it's a really big, you really do need to get to know somebody to know if you like them or not. Because first impressions, I probably wouldn't be friends with Jake or Trevor. But I love Jake and Trevor, and they are both fantastic people that I'm glad I spend way too much time talking to.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think it's important to recognize too, like how much of like what determines your first impressions is just based on like social structure and like stuff that you're taught as like a kid. I mean, like if you had asked me, even like at the age I was when you and me met, Cassidy, like I would not have wanted to be friends with someone with dyed hair because I would have thought they were weird. And I mean, look at me now. So, and
that's
so,
not
like,
natural.
Look at me now.
And so, like, the way that you make first impressions evolves over time. So, like, you might have a different first impression having met someone 10 years ago than you would have if you'd met them now, and stuff like that, too. So it's a very, like, fluid and dynamic sort of thing. And I think that because of, like, how subjective it is, like, you don't have to ignore your first impression of someone, but I think, like, giving people a chance is important.
I agree.
Like, the fact that you have first impressions of people, like positive or negative, doesn't make you like a bad person, because like you said, it's a thing we're hardwired to do.
Yeah. And I think for me in that regard, like I used to be very judgmental, and I used to, meet somebody for the first time and make assumptions on them in the very like first second of their life. What the fuck are you doing with your headphones?
Jake, stop. I didn't want to interrupt Trevor, but Jake, stop it.
I was trying to get Cass to bust up. Sorry.
I'll be honest, you were distracting me quite a lot while I was talking, so I had to look this way to finish my thought.
I was focused on Paragon. I didn't even see what the fuck was happening, and then as I was talking, I saw it just start to wiggle, and I was like, Is that the camera feed? No, that's him being a dick. Stop it. But
Anyway, Trevor.
So I used to like jump to assumptions and conclusions on people really, really quickly, up until I started to do theater. And ironically enough, the reason why I changed in theater, or because of theater, was because everybody who I met was super disingenuous the first time I met them. It was clearly a facade. They were clearly putting on an act of some capacity. And I was like, all right, there's no way I'm actually gonna get to know who this person is. I have to give them another shot. And as I was forced into that position, in that situation for many years, eventually my brain just kind of, or my thought process just kind of swapped, and I was like, all right, so I don't really come to conclusions on people the first time I meet them. There's always going to be at least a few chances, kind of like what Jake said and what he does. But by and large, a lot of my assumptions tend to be very wrong. So I don't put any stock in them at all anymore now, because I don't see a point. But again, that's just me. I don't think first impressions matter fucking at all. With very few exceptions. Like, there are outliers to that. And I know for some people, especially those who have some kind of mental or illness or disability, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what the PC term for it is anymore. But I can understand for them it would only be so much harder to come to that conclusion or kind of get around that in some capacity. But for the people who are 100% able to just like make these kind of choices like myself, it's like, yeah, that's what I do. That's what I think. Social disorder. There we go. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Juggy. Again, I didn't know.
Come on, Trevor, be more PC.
I don't want to be PC at all. I don't like
Well, that's
being
your own
PC.
damn fault.
I know.
I want to touch on what you said, Trevor, because how you said that like your first impressions are often wrong.
Mhm.
I think that a lot of people's first impressions are often wrong because your brain is, because you want to take shortcuts
Mhm.
when you're giving yourself 7 seconds to know somebody.
Mhm.
And so immediately your brain will jump to stereotypes.
Right.
Or things that you learned when you were young, like stranger danger. So
Right,
like
which goes with
Why do
what
you-
I
why
was
do you
saying
bring
about
that
like
up?
social structures.
Exactly, yeah. It's just like more often than not, I agree that first impressions are stupid because I think that more often than not, it's just it's wrong because you don't give them a chance.
Mhm.
And then it's stereotypes, and stereotyping is very, very wrong more than half the time.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I would agree.
Yeah, it's a type of prejudice, but it is still, I think, important to emphasize that like you're not a bad person for having first impressions. It's more of like how much you let them affect your interaction with people.
Yeah.
How I heard of it was your first impression is what you were like taught, how you were like kind of raised, and your second thoughts are the work you put in after that.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So it's like the stereotype comes in, and then you go, no, don't like that. That's not who I want to be. That's not who I am. And it's the second thought that's more important and more indicative of your own character.
I like that.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, you do.
So aggressive. I'm in danger. And I think kind of what all of us are saying. I think we've proven that first impressions are kind of poopy, because all of our first impressions of each other were kind of not entirely spot on, I would say, because they've obviously,
I don't know.
changed.
Mine of Cass is still pretty spot on.
Yeah, mine of Cass as well.
All right.
I'm still jealous of you, Caitlin. I still get jealous when you hang out with other people.
Well, I'm just
Like,
jealous
that's
of
my
you for
wife.
being you. That's my wife.
That's my woman.
Okay, fine. 18/20ths of our first impressions are wrong. There we go. Is that right? Wait, yeah, because each of us had no.
I mean, you could also have just said 9 out of 10.
That would have been a lot smarter.
Let's scale it up quite a bit.
What about 4.5 out of 5?
Go fuck yourself. But
2.25 out of 2.5?
Jesus.
18 says they like 18 out of 20.
I like
Of course, 18 likes 18 out of 20.
Hell yeah.
18, we know your brand.
Yeah. But this kind of, I feel like this kind of leads actually pretty well into our next subject, which is from acquaintances to friends. So I think a very generic kind of timeline or blueprint for making friends is you're strangers, you meet, you learn each other's names. You become
That was shade.
Yeah,
Wait.
yeah, it was 100% shade at Cass. Oh, I should provide some context. So, Cass, for the first, I think, day or two.
I just processed that for like 10 seconds.
I think for the first day or two that we were all talking, Cass sometimes would call me Taylor, and it was fucking hilarious. However, it's not my name. I'm so sorry.
Or Tyler. I thought
Tyler.
I couldn't, in my head, I couldn't remember if it was Tyler, Taylor, or Trevor. And then I would be like, no, it's not Trevor. It's one of these other two.
It can't be Trevor. That's a stupid name. No. But
God.
so yeah,
I didn't say it.
You start as strangers, you meet someone, you learn their names, you become acquaintances. So at what point does someone stop being an acquaintance, and what time do they start actually being a friend? Oh, I think I may have thrown that shade a little too hard. I'm sorry. But yeah, I'm genuinely curious as to what y'all's thoughts are on this, because for me, like, I usually like to skip the acquaintance phase as a whole. I don't like having acquaintances. I like having friends. Mm-hmm. And that probably stems from me just not having very many friends growing up, or moving and having to start all over with people in 7th grade, which is a crucial point in any kid's life. Thanks, Mom and Dad. I love you. Mm-hmm. But I don't think I've actually entered the acquaintance phase in a long time. I think most people I meet now, I spend enough time with almost immediately I become friends with them. I think. Or I become enemies of, and they're just very silent about it. Pick one. But what about y'all? What do y'all think about this?
I've gone first all the time, so
I can go first.
I'll lean back for a little bit.
Open table, y'all.
Because I think that there's a point to be made with the distinction of real life friends versus online friends.
Yeah.
At least in my experience, I don't really have online acquaintances. It's like there's online strangers and then there's online best friends, and that's like you just kind of jump there very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Like there wasn't really an acquaintance phase for like the 4 of us as a group.
Right.
Like we were strangers and then we were friends and then we never stopped talking to each other.
Yeah.
So like I feel like most of my internet friends, it's either like we hit it off right away, and so we like very quickly jump into the friends phase, or like that part never happens and then you don't end up like being in each other's lives at all.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's a little more gradual in person, but online it's a little bit more like, at least in my experience, more like now or never ish.
Mm-hmm. So then, is it easier to make and actually have friends who are online versus real life then?
I mean, it would depend on the person. I think that it would kind of go with like schedule and availability and things that I like to do, that it's easy for me to be engaged with online friends more than IRL friends, which I think Cass can relate to me on this one. Because like my friends who don't play video games online, for example, I'm a lot less likely to talk to regularly than my friends that play video games.
Right.
As an example. Or like our streaming friends, I talk to a lot more regularly than my friends who don't really use the internet that much.
Fair.
Because especially with everything that's going on right now, it's really hard to spend time with your real life friends, especially if their name's Caitlin. But it's really hard to spend time with your real life friends because you can't really do things together.
Right.
And I'm fortunate that I live very close to Caitlin, so I get to see her. But even then, like, we're both very busy people, and so I only get to I see her maybe once a month.
Mm-hmm.
and she lives less than 20 minutes away from me.
Mhm.
And so, but I talk to her almost just about every single day because
Yeah.
we play video games together, because she uses like Discord or whatever. And I think that like being online, because your friends are so accessible when they're online, I think it's a lot easier to not only have online friends but also maintain online friends, because if you have a phone, if you have a computer, then you can talk to them and
Mhm.
you
True.
can nonstop talk to them, especially if that's your primary source of communication. Then that's what you're always doing. That's why we all know each other. Yours and Trevor's points about going from like, oh, we're strangers to wow, we're best friends, that did not happen with me. I First of all, I looked at Jake like he was a zoo exhibit. I was like, holy shit. I was like, oh my god. Like, is that a wild Cassidy? Like, I was lost.
Just
And
make.
literally, I just wanted to talk to. I just, like, I don't even know if I would, like. I think that I was mesmerized by Jake in a way, because I was just like, holy shit, it's like seeing a clone of yourself, kind of. It's like very
What's that song?
off-putting.
What's that song about a mirror?
But I wouldn't say off-putting, but
Oh.
it really catches you off guard. And then I feel like I didn't talk to, because I feel like I would talk to Jake and Caitlin more one-on-one than I would with Trevor.
Mhm.
And so I do think it took me a lot longer to become good friends with Trevor. But also, I'm really, really glad that because it was like kind of like gradual that we got there. But now I'm really happy. But I didn't, a lot of the time, like, I do think I open up a lot more to my online friends, just because I have no filter and I don't think about what I'm saying. But um, I think that it did. I didn't jump straight from like acquaintances to friends. I definitely think that I grew my friendship with the two of you, and I think that, and I'm glad, because then I didn't. I mean, I have said some shit that I wish I hadn't, but other than that,
We all have, yeah.
Yep. Thank you, Caitlin, for your icebreaker questions. But it'll figure. I know I'm blurry. It'll figure it out. But
When the camera has a stroke.
How's the camera, Trevor?
but
Oh, fuck you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, it took you that long?
Yeah. Sorry, Cass, continue.
But yeah, I feel like it. I feel like it depends on the person and how comfortable you are with talking to strangers online.
Mm-hmm.
So, I know I'm kind of like jumping ahead from like thought process here, but
Same.
so, I mean, with all of that being said, because this is all very valid information, is there a threshold? Is there a point where someone stops being an online friend and becomes an IRL friend? Because someone like CJ, who's in chat right now, I've known that fucker for years, and I consider him to be an IRL friend, even though I've never met him. Like, he's one of my closest friends. I don't know if anybody else feels that way about people, but I mean,
I think you can be both. I think that when you meet someone, because in my own caveman brain, I think that a IRL friend is someone you know in real life. So it's someone you've met. It's someone that you've been forced to spend middle school with. But I feel like online friends are just that, people you know online. And I don't think that saying, because I mean, I have better I think that you two, Jake and Trevor, you're better friends than some of like the real life friends that I have. And so I wouldn't consider in like real life friends better friends. And I think it's okay to have your best friends be online friends. Like when just because someone is, someone in real life, doesn't mean you have to like them. Like, doesn't mean they're your best friend.
Mm-hmm.
And just because you never meet somebody in real life doesn't mean that they can't be your best friend.
Honestly, I think with how prevalent like internet connection is and online connection is, it's I think eventually the language is going to get away from real life versus online, and more so just kind of just do away with those terms. maybe just as like kind of like, oh, I met them online. So I mean, we've done that with dating already. It's like, oh, I met them online, you know, that sort of thing, or I met them at the bar. But otherwise, like once you start dating, it's we're dating. It's not we're online dating. It's we're dating.
And that's
Right.
like me and Ben.
Yeah, exactly. You and Ben. You're goodness. He's in Canada. You're in the U.S. Like the Michigan.
Yeah.
Old mitten.
Old mitten. But you guys aren't an online couple. You are a couple.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
but we definitely like we connected online. Like we didn't meet each other in person until like almost a year after we first started talking. You know, like more than 6 months after we first started talking.
But would you call them your online boyfriend or your online fiance?
Well, no. I mean, maybe
Of
like when we
course
first
not,
started
right?
talking, like,
Yeah.
like he was an online friend before he was my boyfriend. But
I-
like once that bridge was crossed, then like that's not like an online connection anymore. Then it's just like a person in your life.
He's not your digital boyfriend. He's your boyfriend.
My imaginary digital Canadian.
my Canadian, the simulation.
my emotional support Canadian.
Everyone needs one of those.
But I do think we're going to get away from that. And honestly, the biggest difference for me between acquaintance and friend is, do I actively want to talk to this person? If yes, friend. If no, and I don't hate them, acquaintance. I will talk to them sometimes. That sort of thing.
Makes sense. I mean, I'm very much the same way with that. I guess for me, like, there's almost no reason to meet people in real life for me anymore. It feels like there's very little incentive for me to go out and meet people at a bar or at a club, because first off, I don't do either of those two things.
Same.
I don't go drinking. I don't go clubbing. I would much rather sit on my computer and talk to people, and meet people through that way. But I feel like, and one of the reasons why I want to talk about this is I feel like eventually we as human beings, because Cass mentioned it earlier, we are social creatures. At what point will that change? Because with the consistent or constant evolution of technology, and with more and more avenues for meeting people online, eventually it's going to be full VR, AR stuff. Like, at what point do we stop making that distinction between IRL and online? At what point does it become one and the same? Because I agree, I think it will eventually just become friend. I just don't know when, and I don't even know if I'm sane by thinking that.
I mean VR, AR, it's still going to be an online aspect. It's still, there's still the impossibility of the distance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's still just that. I think mostly just we're going to tire of having to differentiate. And now that everyone's sort of kind of like, oh yeah, internet's a thing. Like, we're not, we didn't grow up in the 50s or the 40s where it's like internet was not a thing at all.
Right.
We're all growing up in an age where internet is huge. So honestly, we're holding on to this extra language to kind of accommodate the older people. Like, oh yeah, hey dad, I'm gonna fly to Florida to meet my friend, that someone I've been friends with for the past 5 years. Like, I'm gonna do that. It's like, are you sure they're real? I'm like, yes, I'm sure they're real.
That's something that I've noticed with like older generations, is like when you tell someone I have like internet friends, they're like, are you sure it's not just like some like 60-year-old man pretending to be a 13-year-old girl? And it's like, nope, I'm sure I've seen that.
Yeah, I think we sorted out the whole like catfishing thing like 10 years ago. Like, it's not that easy to get catfished if you have been online for a while.
Yeah. If you know the tricks of the trade.
We're experts.
I mean,
We're
kind
pro
of.
internet hackers.
Hell yeah.
Aggressive typing. I'm in.
Hack into the mainframe.
See, I'm excited for that, for when that day finally comes, because I do feel like we as a whole are starting to suffer from label fatigue. Like, we're tired of putting labels on absolutely everything, and it really does come down to the old generations, like the people who are like 40, 50 years older than I am. They need to sit down and shut up.
They're clutching onto things from their past.
Yeah, they are, and they need to let the fuck go. Go into the light, y'all. It's fine. You're safe.
Oh my god. Good
Look,
lord.
all I'm
And
saying is,
suddenly it was a hating old people stream.
I don't hate old people. I'm nothing against
feel
them.
like I'm
I
gonna-
just-
That got hard right there.
look,
I feel like I need to add this. Hey, mom and dad, I love you very much, and I want you alive.
yeah, that's right. My parents are old as fuck. I love you both very much. I know you're never gonna watch this, but still, thank you for raising me not to be a piece of shit, or less of a piece of shit than I should have been. But in all seriousness, I do believe as the older generations that are the source of a lot of kind of these problems and a lot of these issues. And in terms of catfishing, it's always old people. Let's be real. It's always old people. Very rarely is it someone who's young.
Always.
But with all that being said, I am curious. So, and this mostly goes for from me at least to Cass and to Kate. What do you think? How do I phrase this properly? Do you think your opinions on Jake and I would change if we met us in person? And how do you think that first interaction would go? Like, hypothetically speaking, if all four of us just met somewhere, first time meeting, in person, how do you think it would go? What do you think would happen?
Well, I don't know if we would have met in person. I mean, if you consider like even like ignoring that we all live in different states, like if we all lived in the same town, even like I don't think that we would be in the same circles in person unless we were all at like, I don't know, Comic-Con or something. Like what other events in person would it have all
maybe
four
I
of us
maybe
in
I should
person?
clarify. I mean, like, if I'll how do I make this more clear?
Like if you and Jake like flew out to see us.
Yeah.
There we go. That's how
Okay.
I thought, and then Caitlin started
I thought
talking
you-
about that, and I was like,
I
don't
thought
really
you
think
meant
that's
like
what
if we had met
anymore.
in person, like for the first time versus like how we did meet.
No, but I'm curious about that now too. But because I actually agree with as far as you got in that thought. I agree. I don't think any of us would have ever met each other. I don't think, or at least Jake and I sure as fuck wouldn't have. I mean, worst comes to worst, I would have seen Jake in an online lobby at one point, probably called him a slur at an early enough age, and then moved
Slut,
on.
actually. You'd call me a slut. Like, you just do what you normally
depends.
do.
It depends on what age I meet you. If I met you when I was like 13, it would definitely be the F slur. It definitely would have been.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Character development.
I would have been 8.
And I wouldn't
I
have
don't-
cared.
I don't.
That's
wanna
how much
I
I've
wrote-
changed.
I don't want to go too off track of the question, but I mean, even just growing up in the same town, there's people you don't meet. Like, Caitlin and I kind of grew, like, we still went to, like, all of, like, our homecomings and stuff together throughout all of middle school and high school, but I do feel like we kind of grew apart from each other a bit in high school. And if I hadn't met you in middle school, I don't know if we would have made friends in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's kind of when we were growing apart. And then I'm so thankful that we came back together. But, like, it's not just if we all like lived in the same town. It's also when you meet the people, like what you're looking for in a friend at the time. Like if you hold on to those connections. Like I think that there's a chance that none of us would ever have become friends if we'd met each other at different times.
I don't like that thought. Let's move on from that.
Too existential.
I'm sorry.
I disagree in only regards to Jake. Jake, I think if I had met him at any other point in time, I think he and I would have been friends. Unless it had been when I was like 13 and he was 8, because that's weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah. But like once Jake passes the age of like 17, I think anything past that, I think we probably still would have been friends. Maybe not as good of friends, but we still would have been friends, I think.
Maybe not.
I think.
I
Based
still had some growing up to do by the time I met you. Which
I mean,
God, what?
so did I.
I was drinking age when I met you, so I think
Yeah.
maybe that's the point.
Hey.
I wanna clarify too. It's not that I don't. It's not that Caitlin and my personalities wouldn't have gone together. It's that I didn't make friends in high school because I was too damn busy to have friends in high school.
Right.
Well, right. But because you and me, Cass, have both changed a lot, I think, like growing up. But you and me have kind of like changed along the same path, which is why we didn't like grow apart in terms of like interests or anything. Like we're still like pretty like parallel to each other on that stuff.
Yeah.
Which that can be an influence too. Like if you meet each other at a younger age, like usually your like your interests and stuff change pretty rapidly, like in your teenage years. So that would be like early 20s is when like everyone like goes apart and does their own thing. But me and Cass are still just like whoop, going next to each other.
Lucky for us, early 20s, we started a D&D group together, and it brought us very together.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, that was like what got us like talking again, like a
Yeah,
lot, right? Was
yeah, it did.
D&D. Mm-hmm.
You heard it here,
Well-
here first, folks. D&D brings people together.
This is
It
true.
does.
D&D will change the world.
And kind of tied into that same kind of situation. Like, if it weren't for TTT, I wouldn't be as good of friends with 18 as I am, or as I would have been if I had just met him somewhere else. And in terms of D&D, same thing with Juggy and Hobo Home, who are also in chat. Like, I
I
think
say hobo.
at this point, all the people I consider to be actually good friends, I've only met one of them in real life, and that's Jake. And everyone else I've met through a game, which I personally really like. I don't know. Maybe.
Acting's a game. We could have met through a game.
I mean, yeah, sure, but you know what? I am far too tired to argue that, so I'll just give you that win.
That's right.
I do still have that question of how do you think things would be if we all just met now? Like if Jake and I did fly out to see the two of you, Kat and Kate. How do you think that would go?
I want to hear your guys's for this too, by the way. I want to hear Jake
Of course.
and Trevor's.
Of course.
You can go first, Cass.
Well, I was going to say, I want you to go first.
I went first on the last thing. It's your turn.
Yeah, but I
I'll
don't
go
shut
first.
up.
I'll
You
fucking go first if it'll
No.
fucking stop this little
I
quabble.
can go first. I was just giving Cass a chance if she wanted.
All right, Paragon,
We're
the floor
all
is
the
yours.
worst.
That's
I'm
my
Spartacus.
wife. So recalling, like how things were when I first met Ben, because Ben's like the closest thing I have to like an internet friend that I met in person, even though it was different because we were like dating and everything. But it's really there's like this sort of disconnect because when you meet the person IRL that like you and them have bonded a lot emotionally over certain things, but it's still just like a different experience to be like physically in the same room as them. So like when me and Ben talked about like things that we would want to do, like when we first met up in person, it was very different like once we were actually there. And so it kind of felt like we had just started dating like all over again, kind of. Like there was like a transition period of like figuring out like body language and just like those sort of like physical cues, I guess, that like we weren't like all up hugging and kissing each other the first time that we met in person, like we still built up to it even though like we had like poured our hearts out to each other before then. So I think it would be like a similar thing with friends, but not hugging and kissing. Just I mean, it depends, I guess. But
Caitlin. I guess just like that initial shock factor of like,
well,
you do exist.
we brought this
I know you
up,
existed,
like,
but
we brought this up a week ago of like trying to imagine how tall each other are. Like it's a very hard thing to have like that visualization online, or just like how tall or short or big or small like someone would be relative to you like in the same room. It's different like once you actually see them versus just like the floating head on the internet.
Hi, Ben. Ben's in chat now.
Hi, Ben.
Hey, you picked such a great time.
He's
so,
been lurking.
So
He's doing his thing.
thrown off by singing in person. Yeah, no, everything that Caitlin just said, I agree with 100%. That being said, I genuinely think if Cass and Kate, if and when you ever meet me in person, I think what Cass was feeling when she first met me online, I think is what's gonna go through the minds of both of you. I genuinely do, because I am big, and I do have resting asshole face. It's basically
Well, I don't think it's like the
resting bitch
first
face, but for men.
impression's gonna reset.
I don't mean like it's gonna like reset, but I think that's gonna be the first thing that kind of comes into y'all's minds, because that is a how big there there does seem to be a trend of people meeting me and feeling either scared or intimidated or something, and I don't understand why. I personally don't get it, because literally as soon as I talk, it's hi, I'm Trevor. It's not like, hey, what's up? You know?
It's like, hello, I'm a tenor.
Yeah. It's like I think people in chat can attest to this as well. I'm not intimidating at all. I don't have intimidation. Like it's just, if I was a D&D character, my intimidation would be -5. Like it just doesn't fucking exist. It's not present. But I think that is exactly what would happen. I think we'd probably all be very stiff, very quiet. I think Jake and I would be probably cracking jokes to each other. I think the two of you would probably be cracking jokes to each other. Eventually those jokes would interlap, and that's when things would kind of fall into a sense of normalcy.
Yeah, I think there'd be like a warm-up period, but then like
yeah.
I think then we would like kind of get settled into like almost like the Discord call mode, where it's just like whatever sort of crackhead shit we usually do.
I do have a hot
Crackhead
take.
shit.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I do have a hot take.
Oh?
I think that yes, this is exactly what will happen. I think the first two to recover specifically to each other is me and Cass.
Oh yeah.
I think it's going to be like, oh, okay, that's you. You exist. This is you. You exist in 3D space. We're good.
I was gonna say I don't know what you guys are talking about. I'd probably hug you both and be like, "Holy shit, you're real."
I don't.
I'm weird. I'm weird.
I genuinely don't think that would happen. At least with me, with Jake, 100%. I see that happening in a.
I would make you
millisecond.
uncomfortable. I would hug you and make you uncomfortable, even if it was unwelcome.
Well, I would hug you guys. I
No.
just don't think that there would be like I don't think it would be like immediately like completely comfortable and normal. Like it would still be weird,
It's like,
you know.
I genuinely, in terms of like that kind of greeting, I genuinely think I might extend my hand to shake your hands. I think first. I don't know why. No, it is something I genuinely do now, and I don't know when it happened or when it started.
Distancing.
Raven's a boomer, confirmed.
I 100% am I'm a pseudo boomer, but I don't know. Like, I think it's. I don't know.
That's how you really feel.
Okay. I definitely think it's going to be awkward as fuck, at least for me. For so many reasons, but they're all personal issues that I have. Like, the last time I hung out with somebody in real life was literally a year ago in California.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. Like, I haven't anybody here like in Texas. Nothing.
He didn't
Nothing.
hang out with me either when he was there.
This is true. Shut up. Leave me alone. And I think for me, there's also an unfortunate reality of I personally don't know how comfortable I would feel in an actual social situation with multiple people again, because it's been so long. Which is why I think extending my hand as a greeting would be my first thing to do. But after probably like half an hour, I think things will be fine. Although I think you'd be surprised at how quiet I will be. I'll probably be the quietest of all of us.
It's like
Cass and Jake will make up for that.
Oh, yes, they will. Yes, they will.
Me and Raven will be at the party, and Raven will be like by my side, like, "You're the person I know at this party. I'm gonna stick with you."
Yeah. No, that's exactly it. Ever since I stopped doing like theater parties at the JC, that's exactly how I've been ever since then. Fucking to a T. It's the opposite of how I am normally, and it sucks. That being said, I'm kind of hoping if we ever all do decide to meet, I do think one of the things I'm looking forward to is Cass and Jake having a conversation and getting along just totally fine, and Paragon and I just slowly leaning into each other and making just fucking like very quiet jokes to each other about them. Because I think that would be.
Very rude.
I think that's what's going to happen to some degree, and I'm excited for that. Slowly just...
Me and Raven would just be spectating.
You see these two chuckle pups? You see what these two are doing? You see these two?
Get our popcorn and our lawn chairs over
exactly.
the side.
Trying to understand what story we're on.
Yeah, right. It's like, they switched to their 6th story. Well, did they finish the first one? They didn't finish any of them, girl.
No. Mid-story, you're like, by the way, that reminds me, and then it's a staircase.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll have a printed out script of the movie Inception printed out on the side. I'll just kind of be coming through that, like, yeah, this is better, and better. You two talking better than in the movie Inception. That's what I was trying to get at there. That's a wall of words.
I read it.
I also read it.
Get better at reading, Raven.
I literally just saw it. That is actually a very good point. Eye contact. That is something else I have a problem with because I usually just strictly do eye contact in person, which also makes people uncomfortable. I understand that. I can't change it because I don't know where else to fucking look. It just makes sense. Like whenever I'm talking to any of you or whenever one of you are talking on stream, like right now, I'm looking at your eyes. Like Jake, right now, I'm having a staring contest with you. I think I just blinked. Stop that. You fucking stop. Stop it. Put the caterpillars down. How dare you? Oh. But I feel like this kind of leads into our final subject, our final kind of topic here is what actually makes somebody a friend? What separates a friend from just an acquaintance or anything else?
Caitlin's icebreaker questions.
Oh,
yeah, that's kind of what
God.
inspired this, not gonna lie.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Preface to the night that never happened.
Jesus, that was...
I didn't know.
What do you mean? Yeah, it was kind of like the jump start of like we all enjoy hanging out with each other, and then it was, oh, we know each other. Oh. But that's kind of like a defining moment. Like we get to actually know each other, and we get through that and went, no, this is good. Let's talk again tomorrow. And that's like the moment where it's just like Goon Squad.
Yeah.
We're the Goon Squad.
The post 3 a.m. deep talks really do it for me. Like with you guys and with other friends in general. Mm-hmm. Like that was how like me and Ben first connected, is that it was before we started dating, and we got left behind in a group call that we were the only two left and didn't want to like awkwardly dip out. And then it turned into several hours of us talking about a million different things that were all like super deep personal topics. And we had just like, that was our first time talking one-on-one. But I've had like situations like that with other online friends too. And it's always like 3 a.m. is always when you hit like deep talk hours.
Ah, yes. Midnight for me.
That's actually how what Jake said earlier, where he was like, like he's already gone through some things, and so like he'll like give me advice on how to go through them because we kind of handle things the same way emotionally. That we were left in a call alone together, and then we had a very, very long conversation about just trying to understand emotions when you think in warp speed.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, here are my 18 thoughts. I'm focused on none of them. How do I do anything at this point?
So
I usually go with 17 when I say that, but I was thinking of 18.
Aw.
we love 18.
We're always
love
thinking of
18.
18.
18 has 4 friends in this one call.
18 is the unofficial 5th goon.
Pretty much, yeah.
He's a 5th goon.
So he says, "Stop it, never."
No, you.
18's
So-
my friend, whether he wants to be or not.
So
He's my buddy.
for me, and I always view it like I consider somebody a friend, and I know somebody's a friend when I say something or do something that either directly or indirectly hurts them or their feelings, and I feel bad about it. That's when I make that 100% realization that somebody's actually a friend versus just somebody who I consider to be a friend. That's why I actually know somebody is a friend. Like it happened fairly recently with Cass, and Cass and I are good now, but I said something, or something got said. I said something that hurt her feelings.
Something happened.
Hurt her. Yeah. And I felt fucking terrible. And that's kind of the moment for me. I was definitely like, no, Cass is a friend. Cass is a friend, hardcore friend. And the same thing, I've been through it, I feel like, with a lot of people recently. Mostly with, yeah. Jake's another one. Paragon, you're next.
Oh boy.
What will be said? Who knows?
Who's gonna piss off who?
It'll be something.
Find out next time on Raven's Roost podcast.
It'll be something douchey and offhand that I won't really think twice about saying, and then I'll realize what happens after the fact, and I go, oh fuck. But it does happen quite a bit to me because sometimes I tend to talk before I think a lot, and I know that it's a problem. I also know I can be a condescending asshole, or I sound like a condescending asshole. But that for me, that's how I know somebody's friend. That's why I know somebody's actually a friend. And usually when the same thing happens, but I don't have feelings, so I can't get hurt. So yeah, perks of being me. Light switch, turn it off.
But clearly you can get hurt if you were upset by if you were upset by the things that happened.
I can hurt myself. There's a difference there. I can hurt myself
we
easily.
We know you can hurt yourself.
And with that situation too, where you and I kind of got into a bit of a tiff. I was like, when I hadn't heard from you in like a day and a half, I was worried, and I was like, I really want Trevor to still be my friend. Like I really like, and I reached out to you and I like was like, please join us. We're talking about emotional baggage.
Without you in the Good Squad, it's just goo.
We're just goo. We're just goo. We're not the goons without Trevor, and that's I think an important thing about the 4 of us is that there's several different dynamics within our group, and none of them function without the other.
That's fair.
Like I feel like we were like the 3 of us, like Jake, Caitlin, and I were in a conversation the other day, and we're like, we need Trevor. Like he holds us together.
He's our glue.
Do you want to give the Rangoon analogy, Cass?
I'd love to give the Rangoon analogy.
Do it.
No.
Do it up.
So Caitlin and I are obsessed with ragoons, and that's kind of where the
Of
goons
the crab
are.
variety,
The
specifically.
crab ragoons. Slapped with some crab ragoons. But so of the ragoons, Caitlin is the cream cheese, I am the crab meat, Jake is the oil, and then Trevor is the pastry of the ragoon that holds us all together.
The pastry of the god. Okay.
I don't understand the oil
I am
part,
the
but I'm with
dough.
it.
Caitlin and I picked our parts first, so you got what was left.
Yeah,
in the
that's
inside.
that sounds about
You're,
right.
you're slippery.
You shouldn't have
Anyways,
gone back, Grape.
I've got something to do. I'll see.
Really quickly, chat. I just wanna show something to all of you. I have this wonderful image that I think I personally like it.
I don't like it when you say wonderful image.
No, just wait for it. Just wait for it.
Right. I'm waiting, and I don't like. Oh.
Wasn't that sent in the goon chat?
This is
I said it
okay.
in the goon chat, yeah.
For context, this was the night that I hung out with Caitlin, and all I did was rave about this Chinese place that had the best crab ragoons. It was like a 35-40 minute drive, and
Yeah.
It was like an hour and a half trip to get the ragoons and come back.
And we ordered 30 ragoons.
We had like entire bags of them, like chicken nuggets, so we were just sitting there like eating
We ate
ragoons.
a whole bag on the way back. And then we've already discussed this. The next time that we go, we're getting 60. We're not getting any entree. We're just getting 60 ragoons.
That restaurant's gonna hate us if they don't already.
It's
Nah,
fine.
they love it. They're gonna appreciate the business.
Yeah.
Not only that, when we got
money.
there, I'd eaten at that restaurant enough times that they were like, all right, it's this much. And I'm like, you didn't charge me correctly. Where's my other bag of ragoons? Because I knew how much everything cost.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
The best kind of customer.
I know you're mad. I was like, I ordered this. You didn't charge me right.
See, this is one of those things. I was like, very, very smart. Not an asshole about it. It's great.
Look, they were only going to give me one bag of ragoons. Those were fighting words right there.
No one skims us on the goons.
No one skips me on goons.
You can't skimp the goons on the goons.
Oh God.
But that's how we got our name as the Goon Squad, because we are a crab rangoon collectively.
Accurate.
Da.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Don't know
Oui.
why I'm going to Russian, but apparently I'm going to Russian
Yes,
now.
sir.
All right, Mister. I can actually pronounce the language correctly. Leave me alone. So that's pretty much all that we have. What are y'all's like final thoughts on us, our friendship, our whatever we are, our goon squad?
Our goon
Just
squad.
some like how
don't know.
how do y'all feel in general about us collectively as a whole? And I'm curious where do you think our group can go from here? Because we're really good friends.
To the stars.
Goon Squad in space.
In space. Oh God.
The new Power Ranger iteration.
It's this group, like, just overall is a very like immediate feeling of just these people are awesome. I'm gonna talk with them every night. This is gonna be a good time. Once the talking happened, I should iterate. But now it's just it's like it's still as strong.
Yeah.
It's still as strong. I can't, like, maybe I'm wrong. Don't want to be. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see it dying down. I just really don't. I just like that same energy. Like we'll run out of some things to talk about, but otherwise it's just new things pop up, and we're gonna work through that as a friend group as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you do with all your friends.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you.
Goon Squad, 100 seasons.
Yeah. Your daily dose of Goon Squad, something. I don't fucking know. I want all
I don't
four.
know either. What do you think?
I don't know. I want all four of us to stream together.
We need to do the 4
Fun.
minute
I really
stream.
do.
Funny you should mention.
Really? Why do you say that?
Because once this podcast is over, I'm gonna be streaming. We're gonna be playing some Rocket League and some League of Legends together on my stream. On my Twitch channel. I gotta go to the bathroom
We
first.
have
Same.
all streamed together on mine.
Technically, I snuck into that one.
No, when we played League of Legends.
That's my god, we did stream that. Oh my god,
That was a
we
while
streamed
ago.
that.
Fog me, am I right?
Oh yeah, I forgot that was streamed.
Yeah, because that was when Minty raided, was that day.
Ah, Minty.
That was the day that we met Stoff.
Yeah, because
Was
we
it
raided
the day we met
stuff.
Stoff?
We raided Stoff. That's the day we met Stoff.
Oh, he's
Stoff
playing
is
right
streaming
now.
Right now, yeah, he's playing Call of Duty.
This is what I'm saying. My memory, Diet Coke memory, it's gone. It's out the window.
See, that's my memory. I either remember every thing that was said, or I remember nothing and it didn't happen. Like, it's one or the other.
Chuggy.
It's never both.
But yeah. Well, you, Paragon, what do you think about the group? Where do you think we're going? What do you want us to accomplish?
Well, not to get too sentimental on everyone, but I think that meeting Jake and Trevor has been the best part about quarantine. Without a doubt.
Liar.
No, it's true. I think that it's been a lot easier and a lot better at like getting involved with the Twitch community, having met you guys right at the beginning. So I can't really imagine, like, as far as like how streaming has gone for me so far, I can't really imagine what it would have been like without you guys there from the beginning, because you're like a big part of like the little hype men, you know?
Hype.
Yeah.
Hype.
And I both like with regards to streaming stuff, but also just like the four of us as friends. Like I've just sort of like worked that all into like my schedule now. So that's just sort of been like my day-to-day life for the past month now. And so I can't really imagine like what it'll be like without that, you know.
Yeah. No, same.
All right, well, I'm not friends with Trevor anymore after that voice.
Why, Jake? Why don't you love me?
Cass, what do
don't
you
like
think?
it.
I forgot the question. I'm sorry. Can we repeat the question?
Do you have any like final thoughts about the four of us, like online friends, sort of where you think we're headed?
I love the answers. I couldn't remember what the question was.
Where are we headed, Cass?
Yeah.
I fucking hate Jake. But I don't want to, without going into too much detail, I'm so thankful that Caitlin introduced me to you guys, and just that because I don't know if I could have gotten through I've had a couple of shitty weeks, these last couple of weeks, and I don't think I would have been able to get through it without you guys. Me crying on Caitlin's floor, eating crab ragoons. It was a good time, but
and on my bed eating all of our Halloween candy.
Goop Squad!
While I was taking a test.
while she was taking a test, but with only knowing you guys for a couple of weeks, you helped me get through some really, really tough stuff, and still are helping me get through some tough stuff. I woke up today and Trevor was yelling at me to do homework, but I want to stay friends with you guys, and I want to just keep getting to know you guys, and it'd be fucking awesome to meet you both in person. And goddamn it, I don't care how awkward I feel, I'm gonna hug you both.
Yeah, group hug.
Big ol' hug. Anyways, how's COVID doing?
Wow.
Anyways, sorry about that.
Had to bring that up, didn't you?
Ooh, I did. I really did.
What a fucking way to end the podcast.
Oh,
Yeah.
so sorry. Sorry.
On that fucking bombshell of a nightmare, we're gonna go ahead and call it here. That's all the time we have for y'all tonight. please, please, please check out all three of my fabulous people here on their Twitches. Go ahead and what is your Twitch, APH?
It is Amateur Power Hour. Today on Discord, though, it stands for Aristotle Philosopher Himbo.
Fair.
That's what I went for.
Cass.
Catception _X3.
And Paragon.
Paragon Pink. It's right there.
Hell yeah. Now, with that being said, everybody,
Thanks, Hobo.
I'm going to go ahead and grab our out of context quote for the day. What's a good one?
Oh, you didn't have one planned out?
I've got one. This was said by our very own APH.
Oh, God.
I think I know which one it is.
I know nothing about old dick. And that, everybody, again, I'm your host. I'm AZ99 Raven, APH, Catception, Paragon. Thank you all for coming here and spending the evening with me and the wonderful people. Have a good night, everybody. Take care, and we'll see you all next week for our conversation about AI between Frosty and myself. Have a good one.
Oh, God. That'd be a good one. Good night, y'all.
Good night.
I'm streaming now with us. Hooray. Soon.